My name is Harry Box for the Technical Trader at techtrader.com. It's Saturday morning, May the 18th. This is the weekend webinar. Another solid week for the markets, and obviously we've had some big moves in some of the larger cap stocks, but some low price stocks and medium price stocks have been emerging as well. We'll see a lot of them today. Most importantly, though, the market is extended but not extremely overbought. I want to show you that in a bit. But for now, let's take a look at the actual prices of the indexes. We've had a down move from late March into the end of May, and then, or should I say, the end of April, and then that big pop. This is the breakaway gap right there. And then the next day, the follow through to the moving averages. That was key, also through the declining top line. Since then, we've been up about looks like 7 out of 10 days on the S&P 500. And the momentum is still strong enough to say that we can extend, but we're a bit extended, but I think not extremely overbought. The targets now are 53, 50, 60, and then beyond that, 5,400 to 54 and a quarter. The NASDAQ 100 breaking through multiple tops and then pulling back to retest was actually down Thursday and Friday slightly. But you can see since the breakaway gap, the move up that took it from 17.6 to about 18.6, 1,000-point gain in the NASDAQ 100 after the breakout. But from the low here, we spiked down to under 17,000 and we went up to 18.6. So we're talking 1,700 points, or about 10% in just a few short weeks. So even though we've broken out and we can't extend with a target now, 19.5, 19 in that area, we have another 1,000 points potentially on a blow off stage if one occurs. I'll just have to be careful next week to see what's going on and maintain your stops. Small caps emerged and have been emerging, I should say, for the last couple, 4 weeks. From 191 on the IWM to almost 210, nearly 20 points, and up near the resistance zone. This is key. Because if we get through here, this thing can spike and blow off. I'm not sure if that's going to occur, but the bottom line is be on the lookout for emerging small cap stocks. Transportation, not impressive. And although they got above the moving average, they closed back below them, the 50, I should say. And it's still in a rising wedge of sorts. I'm concerned that we're not getting the follow-through confirmation on a Dow theory for the transportation to confirm the industrials, etc. That's old school, but that's the theory. Taking a look at the underlying technicals, and this is what we were talking about a moment ago. The McClellan oscillator got to plus 142 and pulled back to 45, finishing at around 69 on Friday. So extreme overbought is 150, 70, 80, maybe as high as 220, 240, and we've seen more than that. But we've pulled back from what was the highest, most overbought reading since December of this year, actually. So we came off of that, and we're working off some of the excesses in the last couple of days, but still looking at the possibility of at some point a spike and a blow off into the 220 range. Thereabout, we'll see. Right now, if we get below the zero line, which we haven't been below for 3 weeks, it might be an indicator of lower levels. The amount of stocks participating are only 57%, meaning only a little bit more than half the stocks are participating in this move. Which also means we're not extremely overbought, because when participation gets in the 70s and 80s, it's usually at market peaks. So maybe not there yet, and we could be still getting into a potential blow-off stage, but you always got to be extra careful if there's this kind of a run-up. The volatility index, the VIX, is going towards the apathetic side, and I'll tell you what I'm referring to. Historically, anytime you got down in the low teens to single digits, down in here, we get an apathy, and that's dangerous for the market. Fear is up here. We're nowhere near that. So something to be, below 12 is the lowest reading we've seen since December, and one of the lowest readings we've seen in 3-4 years. So you got to be careful in this zone as the market goes slightly higher. If it does go higher and this goes down further, we're going to get to a point where the market needs to and probably right now needs to pull back and or at least consolidate. Looking at the major ETFs that we follow, SMH, Semiconductor Group, is by far leading the way. After rolling over hard in mid-April, things recovered from 198 to 235, and the all-time high at 239 is not that far away. The biotechs have been lagging a little bit. You can see we did get a rally back, but near resistance. It's kind of stalled in here. I'm not excited about biotechs and the way they're acting. The BU is even worse and weaker. The financials are even stronger than the SMH, meaning they're right at all-time highs. One more look at the SMH. See, this is also just below highs. So either we get a blow-up stage and get up in the 250s on the SMH, and FAS gets up to 122 or more, or this is a double top area and the market could come down from here. So we got to be, again, extra vigilant next week. Now, the components. Market strength, I think, almost not solely, but pretty key. When you see Apple down for 3 or 4 months, suddenly huge breakaway gap followed by a bull wedge, followed by a breakout that retests the February high. If we get any further, we're looking at 196. If we do get a blow off, that's likely. Amazon, pretty weak last week considering the market. Okay, so this thing is forming a wedge, and you don't want to see this one under the 50. So move on to 181 might be a place to stop it. But if it breaks out to the upside, we might see 200. Google, new all-time highs. New all-time highs ever on Google. And that broke out of a wedge. And it's in a 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave up, could get you to 190. If you see Apple pop, Google pop, and Amazon break out of its wedge, we're in blow-off stage. I don't know if that occurs, but again, I want to at least make everyone aware of what the posture is of these stocks. Microsoft, a pretty good hit. We came back and is now up near the, well, it's at the declining tops line, but it's near the all-time high, which was up about 430 back on March 21st. So we're pushing up towards the 2-month high. And boy, if Microsoft ever got above that level, it could be a $450 stock or something like that. Netflix, again, after taking a dip, forming a bear wedge, it broke back to the upside. Now it's flagging. That's a bull flag, folks. And if the bull flag goes through the high, along with these other stocks in the posture they're in, we could get a blow-off stage. I'm still looking for that possibility. NVIDIA, right back up near the highs, but it did back off Friday. Down 18 points or about 2%. So not exactly leadership stuff, but we'll see if it's able to finally break through. Netflix, just mentioned, that's platform, Meta. I don't like this chart. I don't like the technicals. I don't like the breakdown and the snap back to resistance. That resistance is at the declining top line, the 50-period moving average. And unless this gets over 490 pretty quickly, I have a problem with Meta, and a stop would be under 460. So that's the weak link as far as I'm concerned. I may be wrong. How about Tesla? I'm thinking this V bottom, breakaway gap, running gap, and that pullback wedge. It's kind of like there. If this breaks to the upside, Tesla could really get a powerful move going. I'm not going to be shocked to see 200 to 2067 as your next target. And if you get through there, look out. You might see it get up to 225 again. Lots of work to do here, but anytime you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down and a spike up, followed by that, with the moving averages flattening out and crossing over, it's a bullish sign. Just make sure if you're playing Tesla or any of the ETFs like TSLL, same kind of pattern, it might be a very intriguing stock going forward. It's a possibility I put a swing on this one. We'll see. The move on this one would be approximately 9 3/4 to 10 1/4. And then beyond that, we're looking at 12 or 13, depending on whether Tesla goes or not. If the Tesla does pop, this is poised to make a big move. This is a nice bottoming type pattern. Again, breakaway gap, and running gap, and then a pullback. Pretty good technicals, which has turned neutral. I would watch TSLL next week for move over 8. It does that, 8.5, 9 3/4, 10.5, all potential short-term targets for TSLL. And that kind of concludes the look at the generals. Now let's take a look at a lot of the other ETFs that we follow closely. We already showed you SMH, XBI, semiconductors, biotech, and FAS financials. Now let's look at oil. USO had a nice uptrend, broke, and it still looks dangerous to me. Yeah, it snapped back nicely, had a reversal bar on Wednesday. The oil had a good end of week move, but unless I see this get up to 78, 8.25, it's still possible we fail right here and roll over some more. So I'm not bullish on oil just yet. Here's the UCO, very similar. Natural gas, well, we're long a swing on oil. Here's why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves down, a base and a breakout. That's where we went long. It's worked its way from 15 and 15.5 to 1967, closing just beneath that. There's resistance there. The next target is 22 and 25, maybe as high as 28. So there's a lot of room to run on oil even from here. Stay long and stay strong. I like the way that looks. Conversely, KOLD, what a great short that was when it broke this platform right there. You had a chance to short this in the 63 range. It's 47.70 and getting hammered as oil goes the opposite way, which you would expect. Gold. Look at this. The GLD, for example, is at all-time highs along with the price of gold. But some of the instruments aren't quite as strong. Nevertheless, promising patterns, as you can see, breaking out on GDX, GDXJ, the junior golds, are my favorite, NUGT and JNUG. All breakout postures. There's a lot of gold stocks we like. You'll see some of them when I review the charts. So we've covered oil and gas, gold. Let's go silver, AGQ, rock and roll. I mean, what a move. This one is, silver's had a much better move than gold, just of late, 31 to 45. 14-point move, or about 40 some odd percent in 2 weeks on AGQ. Silver's been spectacular. I think much better than gold. But here you have lateral price resistance and channel tops resistance. So the ideal scenario is it backs off, consolidates, does a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then runs it to the low 50s on a fifth wave. Maybe, but keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to move on and look at some of the charts that I picked out for you. ACIC, American Global Insurance. This has been in a phenomenal uptrend. It popped out last week before, and look at that move on Friday. Engulfing bullish reversal bar, up 7%. Get through 14.5, you're looking at $18 stock. ADMA, junior biotech's been phenomenal. Since October, when it was trading at 3, it's tripled to over 9 and accelerating. Now, there's some long-term resistance here, but I think you're headed higher, and possibly into the low teens, maybe even mid-teens, 13, 14, longer-term target up there. On the gold sector, Agnico Eagle AAM is a really terrific gold stock, and you can see this chart. The bottom right-handed extension and a beautiful rising channel has taken this from 44 to 70. I kid you not. Nice move in the gold sector. Well, yeah, this is the highest level we've seen since 21, 3-year high on AEM. Relative strength is excellent for that one. AEYE, what a great chart. Base, there's your breakout. There's your flag, another wedge. Keeps going, 28 target. In the silver sector, one of my favorites is First Majestic. You can see long-term downtrend, like many gold and silver stocks. The breakout, the retest, which held near support. Now the move up. If this takes that 8.5, I'm looking for 9 3/4 and more. AGQ we just showed you. AGX is engineering construction, breakout, flag, explosive move, flag, and pop. Really nice chart. May not be done. Targeting 70 and 77. ALAR Junior Biotech, breakout there. Rising flag. Consolidating near the trend line. Forming some sort of, call it a coil here. But in the overall scope of things, this looks like a potential double from here. AMD broke out last week on Thursday, pulled back Friday from its moving average resistance right there. So we need to get this over 170, 72 to get that running. Abercrombie, one of the best retail stocks in Wall Street, percent gain last year since May alone, 22 to 140. How about that for move? Almost sevenfold. Does it look done yet? Nope. 170.75 target. APP, we've been long this stock on a swing since way back when. You can see it popped here, it popped again there, and it popped again there. It's still going after breaking out the week before last. Last week was a perfect bull wedge forming. It targets 100. ARQ. Pollution Controls Company broke out there. You have a rising ascending bull coil right there. Target 11. Aspen aerogels in the building materials sector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up. I'm not sure if it's done yet, but it sure looks like it has momentum to get to 30-31. ASTS on a major deal with AT&T. Exploded Thursday, followed through Friday. Big volume days. There's some resistance at the high on Friday, but eventually I'm looking for 6.5 3/4. AU, my favorite gold, or one of my top golds. The beautiful base, breakout, retest, stair step your way higher, looking for 30, 29.30 next target. Chinese stocks have come to the forefront. Stocks like Billy, which had really gotten a slam dunk from 30 down into the 9 range, turned it around, and you can see the way this is channeling with target 19. BLBD, a bluebird ever since it broke out and formed this wedge was on my hot list. It's gone from 24 to 54. My target is 65. We talked about Boyle. I think Boyle goes higher. I'm looking for, if it gets through here, 22.5 3/4 and 27. BSX, Boston Scientific, has been phenomenal just in the last, since October, at the 48 range to a 75. Target 80. Banking sector with many of major banks looking like this. Citigroup has gone from 38 to 64. It looks like 68 and 74 might be targets. CADL exploded in April, formed the perfect wedge, and then broke out of it and kept going. Now, it did pull back late last week. But I'll tell you what, if this thing gets through 14 1/4, you might see high teens. CAMT in the semiconductor sector doesn't get much stronger than that. Look at this long-term chart. Of late, just since January of 23, a year and a half, it's gone from 21 to 98. Breakout here tells me we might see 110.12 short term. Uranium stocks to the forefront, especially Friday. CCJ, the leader, went 49 under 50 to 54, nearly new all-time highs. Just about. Let's see, way back here in 2007, this hit 55 and change. So we're right up against the all-time high. But if we get through here, 62 and 66, distinct possibilities based on the trend. Junior gold CDE breaks out on Friday. Core, formerly Cordeline, mostly silver. I know it says gold, but I used to be a silver miner. That breakout might get this into the 7 range. CDNA coming out of an inverse head and shoulders with a breakaway gap, pull back, and then an engulfing reversal on Friday. Once this gets above 16, 15, 18, and 21 are targets. Looks good. Seco Environmental. Look at this chart. Pretty terrific. Target 30. CGC, well, obviously, spike, pullback, and now started again. Keep an eye on this next week over 12. We're looking at 15 and 18, maybe 19. CLBT, beautiful rising channel. Breaks out there, retests there, and then pops in flags. Breakout. Consolidation. Target 13, 14 zone. CLS, Celestica, components. How about this move? 1 year, 10 to 53. Target 65. Coya. Well, after that basic move, and I think this is a, even though it's a 1, 2, 3, I think it's wave 1. This is 2, 3, and 4. Still looking for this to eventually break out. Unfortunately, it's been in a consolidation, a good one, for about 2.5 months. It needed to break out over 9.25 first before you get excited. Then your targets are 11, 13, and 15. Coupang. Surge, falling wedge, pop, breakaway gap, pullback, ascending bull pattern. I like this for a move to 26.7. CRBP exploded in January and wedged, then ran up and coiled or flagged. It's not far from the high, but this has got to get through 40, say through 50. The targets are 49.50 and then 75. Crinetics breakaway gap in September and then a consolidation. We went long on a swing. Subsequently, it more than doubled to 51.40. My target now is 60. CTNT, check out this move last week. Breakaway gap, 4 days in a row up. Basically went from 1.5 to 10 plus. Now, it may be extended. It is extended. Love to see some sort of consolidation for a momentum move into the low to mid-teens. Carvana, what a move this year. In the last year and a half, we've gone from 3 to 130. No kidding. 129 anyway. There's a bull coil. Next target, 140. Dell. Well, Dell was a swing from here when it popped and then coiled. It ran from the mid-60s to more than 150. And right now the acceleration, I think, is just to 150 and 175. Hot stock. The ESP popped. Strong earnings report, but look at that trend. And accelerating as well. My target is 18. DRS Aerospace, targeting 27. Broke out of this wedge after a beautiful rising channel. It looks strong. EBS Emergent Bio as emerged with a breakaway gap and then rising channel, targeting 7. EGO in the gold sector. Big inverse head and shoulder. Pullback. Run up. Here's your new angle. I think we get to 20 on this one. Nice chart. Strong, one of the stronger goals. ELYM, based down for a long time, got very quiet, and then pop pullback, and then explode pullback. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. We get a 5th. 14 is the target. Keep an eye on this one. ERJ, South American aircraft manufacturer, competitor with Airbus and Boeing. But what a move. Pop, flag, pop. Kind of a flag as well. Maybe it's a wedge. But it broke out. I think momentum takes this one into the 33, 34 zone. E2, we put a swing on after it broke out. It's been a beautiful ascending bull coil forming. First target, 5 3/4, and then 6 3/4. EVER, tremendous chart. 540 to 26 and change. That more than, let's call it 5-fold. But with this pullback pop, it doesn't look done to me. I'm now looking for it 28. FCX with copper strong. The FCX broke out of a base and kept running. Ascending bull wedge. Breakout, target 58. FRO, very strong shipping group. Take a look at this one. Targeting 30 and 35. Fortuna Silver, pop, wedge, breakout. Very, very strong move. One of the better looking junior silver stocks. Targeting 6.5 and 8. FTI in the oil and gas equipment and services group has gone from 6 to 27.8 and now has an ascending bull coil. Looking for more. 32.3 is my target. Futu, Chinese stocks, as I said earlier, emerging. This one broke out, wedge and popped. Extension target is 100. GM, breakaway gap and a big one back in November. Flag, flag, falling wedge, pop, falling wedge, pop, flag. One of those stocks, folks. If it gets to 46, 52 is your target. GNK, another shipper. What a chart. Momentum target, high 20s. GOGL is another. Same group. Target, 18-19. GVA in the construction group. Granite, one of the bigger ones in the country, had a massive pop, pullback pop, and now my target is 71. Harmony, gold, silver stock, mostly silver, I believe, breaks out of inverse head and shoulders, flags, pops, and goes. Now, long term, you can see a lot of resistance up here. We're through that sector. I'm now expecting a move into the high teens. This could double. Robinhood breaks out of a base, pulls back, explodes, pulls back. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth wave may have started Friday. I'm targeting mid to high 20s. Harrow breaks out of its downtrend, pulls back to test, forms a nice base, breakaway gap, spikes up to resistance and stalls. This looks very good. Targeting 23, 50% more from here. Another junior gold IAG with a target of 5.5 and then 6.5. Good momentum. IBRX, pop, rising channel, explodes and wedges or coils. We need to get this to break out. Your targets are 10 and 12. INO, deep breakaway gap. I gave you a swing on it. It then ran through the first target. Second target is 14.5, 15. Longer term, 18. Jemiah Flyer. Well, Jemiah broke out, flagged, and popped again. Friday it looked like it was going to explode, but it backed off. Still, my target's 8 and 11. In the gold sector, JNUG, which we didn't cover before, it looks terrific. We may have covered it. It broke out. My target's 51 and 58. LSPD, long term, big up, big down. Major base, minor base breakout, has momentum. I'm looking for 18. Meso explodes, pulls back, pops again and flags. Target 10. ML, one of our swing trades, pop, broke out, met a target again. Here's the bottom line of this one. This has got to get above 87. If it does, we could see 100, 125 or more. 3M. After a pretty good earnings report and installing a new CEO, the stock has been running. Breakaway gap, coil, pullback retest, spike up. Target 111, 119, 126. MP, finally making a move. Inverse head and shoulder breakout, declining top sign test, and pullback. If this gets above 19 and a quarter, I'd be looking for 21, 22 and a half, and 26. MRNA breaks out of quadruple tops. We put a swing on it. It backed off, retested 116, and then ran to 134 and change. My target is 143 and 150. Micron, along with AMD and some of the others, very strong patterns. Breakaway gap, pullback, falling wedge, breakout, mini flag, and go. What it needs to do now is get through here. If you can do that, get this to 129.30. The target is 150.55. NDX is trying, but after Thursday's pullback is disappointing. Nevertheless, if it holds, I'm going to need this one to get up to this zone. Once this gets above 10 3/4, 11 1/4, I think we go to 13, 14. Nutanix, one of my favorite and best plays of the year from September at about 35. It's gone to double, over 70. My target's 85. NTRA also, tech traded swing, popped, broke out, consolidated, and now is extended. New all-time high at 114. Sorry, not a new all-time high, a 3-year high. Now I'm looking for a test of the all-time highs, which comes in about 125. Novavax with a major breakout of a base with a massive gap and a huge run is now consolidating. Don't think it's done that yet. Looking for 18 and 22. Oscar breaks out. We put a new swing on it. It's gone from 15.5 to 23 and change, a 50% move already. I don't think it's done. Looking for 26. Oust breaks out of a base, pulls back, pops and retests and pops again. 19 3/4 target. Pan American Silver, one of the bigger silver purveyors, after breaking out of the base and coiling, popped again. Looks to me like 23 and 25 targets. Impinj has been a swing of mine, one of the better ones since way back in October when the stock broke out around 65. It's made it to 182 and tripled basically. It doesn't even look done to me, although it's at the top of the channel. Be careful. Keep raising your stops. Prime Water breaks out of a base, forms a flag, spikes, and consolidates. Don't think it's done yet. Looking for mid-20s. PSTG pops multi-month base, breakout, retest, breakaway gap, large coil, and breakout again. I think we're headed to 70. Rent the Runway, what a move. Last couple of weeks, it's gone literally from 9 to 41 and change. It's extended, overbought. I wouldn't trust it, but man, does this have momentum. Can't tell you how far they take this one, but I would want to stop it under 28.5 3/4. RVG, beautiful rising channel. It's at the top of it and consolidating. If it accelerates, 29 and 32 targets. RNA has been a tick traded swing since it broke out way back in November, December. It's gone from 6, 7 range into 30. And right now, I'm looking for 38 to 40. Great Momo, great chart. Root, one of the best picks of the year. After breaking out, we went in long around 14 3/4. It made it up pre-market over 100. I think it was, no, actually 97. Doing regular sessions, it had a double top near 80, 87. So there's your resistance. The chart's still in play. If it pops here, who knows where they take this one, but it's a hell of a move from 14 to 90 something. And it only took a month and a half. Okay, Starbucks is yet another shipping stock with a great chart, targeting 28. SE, tech traded swing, breaks out, pops again here. Look at that run. But right now, with this angle of ascent, I'm looking for this stock to make a move into the mid to high 80s, maybe 90. Great chart. Seed, obviously, February, March exploded, pulled back from the coil that took a couple, 3 months to develop. Then it had this little coil and it broke out a week and a half ago. It went vertical from 331 in 2 days to 606, nearly doubling, pulled back, and then reached a new high at 649 Friday before backing off. I think it's a buy for a move that takes this into the high single digits, low teens. Skechers, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave underway. They could take it to mid to high 70s. SRTS breaking out of an inverse head and shoulders after a long decline. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave decline. So the reversal, the retest, and then the pop. My target is 8 on this one. STNG, Scorpio is another, Tankers is another shipper. With a target of 90 now. Teva, beautiful rising channel, breaking out of a long base. It'll retest and pop. Now looking for high teens, 19 target. Tandem, big winner for us back here, and took a hit and a hard one from 150 odd, 153.4, all the way down to 15, 90% low drop. But then this pop pullback and then pop flag, and now pop, and you can see where it's going. At this point, it sure looks to me like this is a mid-range channel. Hang on a minute, I'm going to redo this. Okay, I think this gets into that 60 range again. ULBI was a tech trader swing. It popped out, it pulled back, it popped again, and backed off. If it doesn't fall apart here, and then takes out the high, I'd be looking for high teens. VIST, uninterrupted trend in the last 2 years, has taken this one from under 6 to over 48. Phenomenal move. Momentum has not waned yet. Looking for 52. VITL, Vital Farms breaks out of its base through there and just keeps running. Powerful move. Not an all-time high though. So let's put a line up there as a potential target on momentum follow through to retest low 40s. Viking is now in a 2.5 month consolidation of the big pop that it had on positive drug news in February. I'm still looking for either takeover or breakout, but you want to make sure you're stopping this one under 57. And move over 82 could get this running into the 105, 110 zone or more. Vroom, great chart, rising pattern, 29 target. WGS Tech Trader Swing breaks out and has a rising flag, looking for 33.34. First target, 29.30. Wheat and precious metals, the other major silver purveyor and one of the 2 largest in the world. Nice chart. There's your angle. My target is mid-60s. ZETA, Tech Trader Swing, popped out, consolidated, and then really took off from the 10-11 range. Now 17.5 and still going. I like this for low 20s. And folks, that's a look at the longs. We have some shorts to cover, and we'll call it good for today. Adobe. Well, you can see why this is a short. After breaking down and forming a bear flag, I said go short. It got slammed from the wedge, came down, snapback of a meager proportions. Now, yeah, you want to cover over 500, but any move under 460 could get this down to 430, 35. Autodesk, head and shoulder top, we caught it short right there at 248. It got hammered to 206, and now a bear coil. I think this goes lower, and I think the target could be sharply lower. Look at something down about 180.90. Akamai, Tech Trader swing short since 114, dropped all the way down to 90. Bounced to resistance. I think it's not done yet. Looking for 83.4. AMN consolidating for weeks now, and in a 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth wave down target 47.8. AMR, the KOLD stock, broke a top, formed a big bear flag, and it's come down. This one looks lower, targeting 260 and 208. Biohaven breaks down, forms a bear flag, pops, breaks down and forms another bear wedge. I'm not going to be happy till I see the target met at 27. 10 points. BRZE, a new Tech Trader swing short, ready to break down, it appears. Support at 38, target at 34.5. CAR, Tech Trader swing short, has snapped back to resistance, so careful. I would definitely stop this one over 132, but the target remains 97 and way down in the 70s. CDW, what a breakdown on this one, and what a beautiful looking bear coil. Now, I don't know if this is it, but if it starts to break from here, it can fall apart. I wouldn't be shocked to see 20, 30 points down. CEIX in the coal sector is a little sketchy. I'd be careful here. I don't want to see any further upside on this one. Checkpoint breaks down, snaps back, breaks down, makes a nominal new low, and then tries to snap back. But it looks like it's rolled over. My target is 138 and 128. COR breaks its topping pattern with a breakaway gap and is in a falling flag. Doesn't look good. I'm looking for 215, 206. DoorDash got slammed and is forming a perfect bear flag. Doesn't look good at all. My target is 193. Believe it or not, Disney broke down as a bear flag and broke down again. It looks quite ugly. I'm not sure why, but I think you're going to see this one make a run at about 96, maybe as low as 89. ELF, after a monster run, finally broke down bear wedge, and that's got a long coil. If it breaks from here, I'm going to see 140, 129, and less. Fox Factory gave me a swing short there at about 69. It dropped to 39. It still looks bearish. A rollover here could get you to 31 too. GitLab breaks down and forms this kind of pattern that if it doesn't get going soon, it could roll over. Meanwhile, you're stopping this one over 60 with the target now 43. INFA rolls over, wedges, and forms this pattern with a engulfing bearish bar on Friday. This one looks really bad. Any move under 29, and this stock could be 25 pretty quickly. INMD, massive decline, has taken this from 45 into the teens, and yet another bear wedge says to me if it breaks here, we could see mid-teens if not less. JBL I added this weekend after breaking down and forming a big bear wedge there. It rolled over again, and now it's got another what I consider bear coil. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4 perhaps. The fifth wave might knock you down under 100. LITE snaps back to resistance. So this is a tech-traded swing short that I want you to cover if it takes out 48. Any rollover takes you down to 41 and 35. S forming a bear coil. This was a tech-traded swing short as well. If it fails here and rolls over, we're looking at 18, 18 and a half. Shopify head and shoulder top breakdown. This is a tech-traded swing short. There is some resistance at the gap, a support at the gap, and it's bounced off of it. But ultimately, this could be a 45, 46. And finally, Yelp breaks from a head and shoulder top, forms a rising bear flag, it gets hammered back down, targeting eventually 32. And folks, that's a look at the longs, the shorts, the ETFs, underlying technicals, and the major NASDAQ 100 generals. A good look at what's going on in the markets, I believe. Please review it a couple times and be prepared for next week when it's going to be wild and woolly, I believe. This is HB signing off. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.